everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lottie and today I have a small Orbit sale haul for you. This October, Orbit, the publishing company, did another half price sale, so I took advantage of that and have bought a few books in the sale, and I'm going to talk you through what they are today. Now, I would not know about this sale if it wasn't for Rick posting it in Spoops' Patreon Discord, so thank you so much, Rick, for contributing to my ever-growing TBR pile. Another thing I would like to mention is I have reached 500 subscribers, which is insane. When I started making these silly little videos last year, I never thought anyone would watch them, let alone 500 people sign up to keep watching them. So thank you guys so much for subscribing. I'm not one who particularly pays much mind to numbers, but it is nice when you see them going up. So thank you so much. Keep sharing my videos with your friends. We'll keep building our little community. I am running a giveaway over on my Twitter. There will be a link in the description to the giveaway as a thank you for helping me reach 500 subscribers. So go and click on the link in the description. Thank you to the tweets for all the information on there. If you would like to join in with that giveaway, it is running until the 11th of November, so you've still got plenty of time to join in. All you really have to do is prove that you're subscribed to my channel, so it's a really simple giveaway just as a little thank you. Also, another thing is I'm not feeling very well at the moment, so please excuse the voice. I wanted to film this video while the books were still fresh in my mind, so I'm filming it now even though I don't feel great, so please just excuse my bunged up nose sound. So let's just get on with what the books are that I've bought in the Orbit sale. So I bought 8 books in the sale. Here they are, and they were all half price, so it was a pretty good deal. I would recommend following publishing houses on Twitter, Instagram, etc., so that you can keep an eye out for whenever sales like this go live. This is the second one this year that I'm aware of that Orbit has done. They've done everything like for half price. This sale in particular was just paperback, but it's still a pretty good sale. First, we've got 2 in the same series, which are Jade War and Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, and this is book 2 and book 3 in the Greenbone saga. I got the first book, Jade City, for my birthday this year. I think Kendra got it for me. So when I saw that these books were in the sale, I thought I would like take advantage of the fact that I've already got the first one because they were half price. So I won't read you the blurbs of these because they probably will spoil their first book, and the first book is behind you on my TBR cart at the moment. So as far as I know, Jade City follows a civilization where Jade, the gemstone, can give the people of that civilization special powers. So it's quite coveted and it kind of causes like gang war type stuff. I don't really know regarding the control of Jade. I think it's like a big political fantasy type thing, but the only real fantasy element is that the Jade can give people powers. I'm a bit weary of how I'm going to find this series because I feel like it is more political, historical type setting rather than fantasy, but I'm very interested to give it a go. So many people have raved about it. It's like one of the big chunky fantasy series that Spoops has really liked, so I'm very interested to read this series, and now that I have the whole trilogy I might binge them sometime next year and maybe do a reading vlog out of it as well. So that is the first 2 books that I've gotten. Jade Legacy is very chunky, but I'm excited to get to them, and because these are the Orbit copies, like direct from the publisher as well, they're really floppy. That is also a bonus. I have also got For the Throne by Hannah Witton, which is the sequel to For the Wolf. I got the For the Wolf in the last Orbit sale. One of the reasons I held off from getting For the Throne at the time was because the paperback edition hadn't come out yet and I didn't want mismatched editions. So this is a fantasy duology where in the first book I think it's a Red Riding Hood retelling. I don't really know too much about the plot. I feel like I've heard there's something about 2 sisters and one of them was left for the wolf, one of them is for the throne. Again, the first book is elsewhere, so I'm not going to go and grab it now, and I'm not going to read the blurb of this because it will spoil the first one probably. But this is a series that I've heard a lot about and I'm very intrigued by it. I also really, really love retellings of fairy tales, so I think it's going to be one that I really enjoy. I haven't read a lot of duologies, and the duologies I have read I've not loved, so I'm a bit like nervous about how I'm going to feel about a duology, but I'm very interested to get to this one. Maybe I'll do another reading vlog reading the whole duology at some point. Something I would like to do next year is binge more series instead of starting one book and then not reading the rest of the series for a really long time. So it's another option now that I've got the whole duology that I can kind of binge read. And next I've got The Boy on the Bridge by M.L. Carey, and this is a companion novel to The Girl with All the Gifts, which was another book I got in the last Orbit sale. Can you sense a theme here? So I don't think that this is like a sequel, it's definitely a companion novel set in the same world. On the little sticker here it says set in the world of The Girl with All the Gifts, so it's like I probably could read them in any order. They don't follow on from the other, but I will probably read The Girl with All the Gifts first. One of the things about the last Orbit sale was I was like, I don't want to buy a lot of books by the same author if I've not read from them before, but I have a feeling I'm really going to enjoy M.L. Carey's books. I've got the Book of Coley as well, which they have written, and because this is a zombie like world as well, I think that I'm really going to enjoy it because I love zombie books. I love a zombie apocalypse setting. So I will read the blurb of this one to you because I feel like it won't spoil Go With All the Gifts. I really hope it won't, so let's read it. Once upon a time, in a land blighted by terror, there was a very clever boy. The people thought the boy could save them, so they opened the gates and sent him out into the world to where the monsters lived. Okay, it doesn't tell you a lot, but it sounds very ominous, so I'm very interested to read this. Probably get to it when I've read The Girl with All the Gifts, but I'm very, very excited. So the next one that I picked up was Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft, and I heard about this book when Becca from Becca and the Books read it. And so this is the first in a series about the Tower of Babel, and the main character, like his wife goes missing and he has to go through the different levels in the Tower of Babel to find her, I guess. So I only got the first book because I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I don't think Becca rated it very high and she didn't enjoy it that much. I would like to give it a go because the concept really interests me, but I'll obviously have to see how I get on with the author's writing style. So this says, mild-mannered headmaster Thomas Senlin prefers his adventures to be safely contained within the pages of a book. So when he loses his new bride shortly after embarking on the honeymoon of their dreams, he is ill-prepared for the trouble that follows. To find her, Senlin must enter the Tower of Babel, a world of geniuses and tyrants, of menace and wonder, of unusual animals and mysterious machines. He must endure betrayal, assassination attempts, and the long guns of a flying fortress. And if he hopes to ever see his wife again, he will have to do more than just survive. This quiet man of letters must become a man of action. So it's probably a bit of a, like, coward to hero type story as well by the sounds of it, but I'm really interested in the concept of like going through the different levels of the Tower of Babel. I think Becca said this only follows like the first couple of levels of it, but I am intrigued to see. I'm wondering as well, is it the same Tower of Babel as in Babel by R.F. Kuang? It'd be quite interesting to kind of see two different perspectives of Babel in general. So yeah, I'm very intrigued with this one. I'm just a little bit nervous about how I'll find it based on what I've heard from other people. So this is Strange Practice by Vivian Shaw, and this is again the first book in a series. Pretty much most of the rest of the books I'm going to talk about are, in fact all of them are, the first in a series. This was one that really interested me. So this is a Dr. Greta Helsing novel, and on the cover it looks like she is a doctor with a person in a coffin. But I was really intrigued by the blurb of this when I read it online. I think I'm really going to enjoy this series. It seems like it's a bit of a historical fantasy. I do really want to try more historical fantasy. So let's read the blurb. Meet Greta Helsing, doctor to the undead. After inheriting a highly specialised and highly peculiar medical practice, Dr. Helsing spends her days treating London's undead for a host of ills: vocal strain in banshees, arthritis in Barrow Whites, and entropy in mummies. Although barely making ends meet, this is just the quiet supernatural adjacent life Greta's dreamed of since childhood. But when a sect of murderous monks emerges, killing humans and undead alike, Greta must use all her unusual skills to keep her supernatural clients and the rest of London safe. So it's got like, it's about the Undead. It's got a Victorian London setting and it's a murder mystery as well, so I'm really intrigued to see how I'm gonna get on with it. It kind of gives me the same vibes of like what happened with the Jack the Ripper murders, but I'm really intrigued to read this and see what it's gonna be like. I love the idea of like a doctor to the undead, I don't know, but yeah, I'm very interested in this one. So I was just editing that part of the video and I don't recall anywhere on the blurb saying that it was a historical fantasy, and I've just reread the blurb of the book and I've read the first couple of pages and I'm pretty sure it's a modern setting. It's not historical whatsoever, so I have no idea why I was so convinced it was historical. I think maybe the cover kind of made me feel that way, but it's definitely kind of set more modern day, which kind of does interest me a little bit more because it's kind of more of like an urban type thing. But yeah, it's definitely not a Victorian setting whatsoever. In fact, I looked on the cover as well and there is the London Eye on the cover, which is very much not a Victorian thing. So yeah, still very interested, but it's not historical at all. Next I've got a urban paranormal fantasy romance thing which is Mooncalled by Patricia Briggs. I've been wanting to read more paranormal romance because I really enjoy the Sookie Stackhouse series and I really like a fantasy with a modern setting and that's kind of set in the real world. I thought I would try this, and then the last book I've got to talk about is another paranormal romance. So this is about Mercy Thompson. Mercy Thompson's life is a long way from normal. Her next door neighbour is an alpha werewolf. Her former boss is a gremlin and she's fixing a VW bus for a vampire. But then Mercy isn't exactly normal herself. So when a teenager walks into her garage looking for work, the coyote shapeshifter in her spots the werewolf in him. Although he's not from the local pack, she gives him a chance and a job, but all too soon men and werewolves come looking for him. The local alpha is attacked in his own home and a dead body is left as a warning of Mercy's front porch. She's suddenly in a heap of trouble and finding difficult questions breed dangerous answers. This is the first in quite a long series, but I am very interested, especially because it's about shapeshifters and werewolves more so than like you vampires and stuff. The paranormal romance that I've read in the past has been very much like about vampires rather than shifters and werewolves, so I'm very interested to try something that's a little bit different but still a genre that I really enjoy. So it's a first in a very long series by the looks of it, but I'm looking forward to diving into the world of Mercy Thompson and seeing what it's all about. And the last book that I got in the Orbit sale was Bitten by Kelly Armstrong, which is the first in another very long paranormal fantasy series. I keep saying paranormal fantasy, paranormal romance series. So this is another one that's about werewolves. Elena Michaels didn't know that her lover Clay was a werewolf until he bit her, changing her life forever. Betrayed and furious, she cannot accept her transformation and wants nothing to do with her pack, a charismatic group of fellow werewolves who say they want to help. But when a series of brutal murders threatens the pack, Elena is forced to make an impossible choice: abandon the only people who truly understand her new nature, or help them to save the lover who ruined her life, and who still wants her back at any cost. So it sounds like it's full of angst. I love it. It's about werewolves, which is another thing I've not read a lot of, but I'm really intrigued to read this one and see if it's any good. These two, I'm a little bit nervous. I feel like they could be kind of trash, but that is literally like just my prejudiced judgment. I bet they're going to be very good, but I'm very intrigued to read Bitten. Kind of, it gives me Twilight vibes, especially the cover. Like, does that not give you Twilight vibes? So I feel like I'm gonna really like this one, but again, it's the first in what I think is quite a long series, so I'm letting myself in for quite a lot. Okay, so that's all the books that I got in the most recent Orbit sale. I'm very excited to read them. Let me know if you read any of these before, what you thought of them, if there's any that I maybe should reconsider. But yeah, these books I'm very excited to read. I hope that I can fit them onto a TBR relatively soon, though I am obviously trying to start less series and finish more at the moment, so some of these it might be a little while before I get to them. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books before. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. I post a new video every single week. And that's it from me today, guys. Bye!